Hey, everybody, welcome back. I'm Zach Husted. I'm here with Bill Wilder. We are ready to rock and roll on question number 4 out of 5 on Leaders Lead. Bill, thanks for being here, man. It's a true honor to be able to do this with you. We've been on some fun rides through the time we've known each other, and this, you know what, man, this is a unique, fun experience. I'm really glad I get to share and do this with you. So thanks for being here. And
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for doing this.
yeah,
I think
man.
this is it's good to reach out to this audience. This is an important audience in our country.
Yeah, man. I hope that this gets some legs under it, gets some scale. We get to drop some wisdom for people, and what we're doing tonight will hopefully make a difference to somebody. And what we've learned and what we're providing time and talent tonight, and
Hmm.
sharing it with other people. That's what we're doing here. Um, so, Bill, hey, real quick, you shared on the couple other of the episodes a little bit about your background. So we're not going to really go down that. I want you to share. We're going to go a little off script. I want you to
Okay.
share. I want you to share. Yeah, look at that. Look at his face. He's like, "Oh my God, where's he going?"
Yeah.
I always try to get one off script on people, and so I'm throwing it at
Okay.
Bill right now. Um, Bill, I want you to share. Um, when you think of all the times and the things that we've done together, I want you to share a funny moment that is shareable, recordable,
Oh,
shareable that we've done together that comes to your mind because we've known each other for a while.
yeah. I'm. There's a couple coming to mind. This one's not a specific moment in time, but I remember the one time you and I tried to play golf together.
Oh
We
my God, I know what you're
This
gonna
is
say. I'm
in
so embarrassed.
this this is out in this is well no, I mean it's just the whole day. I mean there's this
Yeah.
we go to this golf course in Minnesota, and I can't remember if it was spring or fall, but it wasn't at a point in time you would expect it to be particularly cold or whatever. And man, we must have been trying to play golf in 80-mile-an-hour winds, and just I mean every swing was a laugh. I believe there was one swing, if I remember right, you swang and you hit something metal on the ground and sparks went flying everywhere, and it just seemed like one of those days where just everything is funny.
Oh
It
my
was
God,
crazy.
that was such a good day. And so for
Yeah.
those of you who don't know, Bill is an amazing golfer, and I'm not even considered like an occasionalist golfer. Like, uh, he's probably played more rounds of golf this year than I've probably played in my life. So, yeah, we're out at this golf course near us where he used to live, near me, and where we used to live near each other. And I tee up and I swing, and I give it one for the old Gipper, and I give it everything I have, and all of a sudden sparks start flying
Yeah.
because you're like, you can't make this up. And Bill looked at me and he's like, "Oh my gosh, dude, I
It
cannot
was
believe what I
funny.
just saw."
Yeah,
And then
it was a riot.
it was one of the funnest golf days. And when you said you were going to talk about golf, I knew you were going to talk about that
Oh yeah.
shocking electric shot because we couldn't believe that it happened.
Oh yeah. That was a crazy day. I mean, it was a lot of fun. It was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah,
But
man.
there are definitely other stories. You ever have me on again? We'll tell some maybe not as clean stories.
We'll save those for in the distant or the long distant, um,
Yeah.
down the road. But oh my God, the back of my head hurts right now from laughing at that one. All right. Hey, Bill, before we get going too far, I just want to once again thank you for your service, brother. Appreciate you and all you've done for this great nation. And thanks for your
Thank you.
mentorship and your brotherhood. Um, appreciate you. So we're going to go into question number 4 out of question number 5. Um, one of the things that you've taught me is that details matter.
Yep.
And as you've gone through your career, and I learned going through basic training and others, attention to detail matters. So as you've gone through your military career and as you've gone through your leadership roles, can you provide an example of how that training and being meticulous in planning and the execution of that has translated it to you being a better leader.
Sure. So, I mean, there's tons of examples. I mean, again, lots of IT projects that I've done commercially over the years and things like that. I can go into any one of those examples, but I think given the time we have, let's just talk about some of the techniques that you learn in the military that, frankly, the commercial world, for whatever reason, hasn't embraced it, and I think it's a huge miss.
Oh, okay.
Everybody, you know, everybody plans to some degree or another, right? If it's a material event in your life, you're going to plan it. And in the commercial sector is no different. Again, we do tons of projects. We're constantly re-engineering processes. We're constantly changing out systems. And every company in America is doing the same thing. So there is a level of planning that occurs. And for most corporations, that's kind of the end of it, right? They write the plan and then they have their weekly or biweekly meeting and they go
Yeah.
through it. Their project comes to a conclusion and they move on. May have been a good conclusion, may have been a bad conclusion. But here's what's different in the military that I think are techniques that everyone should bring out. It's ones that I've used. This will probably, even though I didn't necessarily talk about them explicitly at Best Buy, you will be able to relate to your experiences with me back then. One is the military uses a concept of red team. And so what red team means is let's say you're planning whatever you're planning. There's going to be a small number of people that have the knowledge, have the ability to be a part of the planning process, but you're going to keep them purposefully away from the planning, right? You're going to keep them away from it, hold them off to the side. And then when the plan is built, then you're going to hold a session where the people who constructed the plan brief the people who didn't participate in the construction of the plan, and they're going to play devil's advocate with the plan, right? It's kind of a sort of A/B testing of sorts, if you want to think of it in that context. But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, the use of red team, and even if it's just one person or two people, because see, the problem is especially if you're high enough in an organization, right? At my level in an organization, let's say we just recently did this. We had to re-engineer the process for the state of New Hampshire because they made changes on their side. Now, I don't possess enough knowledge to be sitting in a conference room for my team to come in to me and brief me on what we're going to do in New Hampshire and how we're going to do that process differently and provide any kind of real meaningful contingency planning or any of that type of litmus testing. But if I have, let's say I have a team of 5 or 6, actually more than that, that know New Hampshire, I just take one or two, I put them off to the side. And then when they come to brief me, I bring in those one or two people and say, okay, you're my eyes and ears in this meeting. I want you to question things. That's what red team's about. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be formal. But when you talk about attention to detail, when you talk about planning, when you're briefing up a plan, the people you're briefing up to generally don't have the working knowledge. So if you put it in like a military context, right? And if you're going out and, let's say you're running some sort of mission for the day, the commander of the mission then maybe briefs a different commander who's used to doing this type of stuff. Then they can help. Hey, did you think about this? Hey, what about this?
Yeah.
What about that? So the red team technique, I think, is a very important aspect getting to your question. I think the second technique that folks don't do, and those who do it don't do it well, and that is debriefing. Too many people, when a project goes bad, they want to sweep it under the rug as fast as they can and forget it ever happened. And then secondarily, even if it goes good, they want to sit around and have a love fest. They don't actually want to talk about what really worked and what really didn't work. And I think the debriefing is probably one of the most critical aspects to planning because I don't know how you get better, right? Because, I'll come back to my New Hampshire example that's unfolding as we speak now. And we're going to roll this thing out over the next few weeks and months. And we're going to have to sit down as a team. Okay, what went well, what didn't go well? Not just what went well with the process, but what went well with the entire planning process? What went well with how are we going to measure our performance? What
Mm-hmm.
went well with our communication? What went well with our contingency planning? And what didn't? And so the debriefing tool is probably the single most overlooked tool that the military uses like crazy, but for whatever reason, the commercial sector doesn't use. I promise you, anybody out there leading any kind of an operation can see massive improvement in a short period of time just by adding debriefing to every one of their projects.
Yeah. I agree. Like the post recon, the post debrief, the whatever title people put on it, but it's the post
Yeah,
reflection.
you're right.
That's where the nuggets come out, right? And you gotta be authentic with it. You gotta be real. You gotta create a safe environment where people can be honest about what happened without
Right.
repercussion, because otherwise you'll
Yep.
never get better. And
Yeah.
I think that yeah, I we both worked in organizations that do it well, the military that is, and
Hmm.
other organizations that just they don't want to put time and energy into it. On to the next.
Well, I mean, even if we take it from, there were parts of our former company at Best Buy that did
Yep.
it really well. And store
Yeah.
opening is a great example, right? I
Yes.
mean, when we joined, there was probably, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 stores. And then, it grew to hundreds of stores. And again, every store opening, they were very religious about having, let's have a debrief. What went well? Oh, we could have ordered the carpet sooner, or we could have made this decision differently, or we could,
Yep.
it honestly doesn't matter the subject matter. If you want to
Hmm.
get better at anything in life, I don't care if it's learning how to ride a skateboard, then you
Yep.
got to have the equivalent of a debrief every time you do it.
Yeah.
We started this off talking about golf, and, I played competitively as a kid, and it had everything to do with debrief, like constantly. What did I do right? What did I do wrong? So again, I think the lesson when you ask questions about planning and how to get better at planning, I think red team and debriefing will solve 80+% of anybody's challenges with planning if you just install those two techniques.
Yeah, man, that's really really good, really good wisdom there, Bill. Hey, man, thanks for being here again today for this one. Appreciate having you.
Yeah, thank you.
We talked a little bit about some of your passions, just for those that are checking in on this one and they've missed the other ones. What can we do to lift you up? What can we do to help spread the word on what you're passionate about, and how can we help you with your passions and what you're interested in? What can we do to support you?
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, really, really, the thing I would ask for folks, one of the most overlooked populations out there, in my estimation, is the military spouse. We definitely always, when we do talk about the military spouse, we always talk about the sacrifice of, their spouses away or deployed. But, there's actually a bigger, if you spend any time around military spouses, there actually is a bigger sacrifice that they make. And that is that they're not allowed to have their own careers. If your
That's right.
spouse is changing duty stations every 2, 3 years, kind of hard to hold down a job. And so we've dedicated in our company to, trying to convert our jobs to be as military spouse friendly as possible. So I would encourage, if you really want to do something and you want to join alongside of me, let's find ways that you can convert your positions so that you can get an amazing team member who will be very loyal and do an amazing job. But you're doing something for the backbone of our service members.
Yeah. Hey, Bill, I commend you for doing that. We both have had military spouses, and we
Hmm.
we know what that means. They're keeping the wheels on the bus, right? As
Right.
we go and work part of a cog in an ecosystem that is a machine, right, running and doing that, and they're keeping the home front down. So, love what you guys are doing. Love the passion that you guys bring at your job every day for helping support the military community. So, hey, everybody, you heard it here. Bill Wilder, question 4 or 5 on Leaders Lead. We'll be back tomorrow with a finale, and can't wait for you to hear what Bill's got to say on question number 5. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Zach Husted, and looking forward to having you click back in tomorrow for question 5 with Bill Wilder. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks, Zach.